Today, I have an exciting video for you guys, as I will be explaining and going over the Mashle execution arc. In this arc, Mash has gotten himself into some trouble after being exposed for not having any magic, and because of this, he has been sent to trial to receive his judgment. This is the first arc after season 1 of the anime, so I want to warn you guys that this video contains spoilers for the manga. And with that out of the way, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and let's get right into the video. It is revealed that divine visionaries are the most powerful magic users in the world. They play a vital role in keeping the world functioning by handling most of the magic-related tasks. They also serve as an official force sanctioned by the state to protect society from those who might disrupt it. To symbolize their divine role, they are given titles that mark them as chosen by God. Meanwhile, in the Bureau of Magic, where Mash is facing a trial, there are rumors that he concealed his magical abilities from the Bureau. Looking back at the events from one day before his arrival at the Bureau, Mash was spending time with his friends when he received a letter. Upon opening it, Lemon and Abyss were surprised to find out that he had been summoned to the Bureau of Magic. Returning to the present, Mash finds himself in a conversation with Blessed Minister, the Vice Director of the Bureau of Magic. The Minister explains that hiding his magical abilities is a serious offense, especially because it wasn't discovered during their enrollment process. Mash, in response, just stares at him. Blessed Minister then asks Mash if he knows who created their world. Mash responds with a question of his own, asking if it was some influential figure. Blessed Minister explains that it was God who created their world, and as God's creation, the world is a thing of beauty. The same goes for magic. It's a miracle given by God to people. However, there's someone threatening this beautiful miracle, and that person is Mash. Mash is puzzled by this revelation. Does he understand that he might be a problem in the system and needs to be addressed immediately to prevent disruptions? Mash remains puzzled. Mash may understand, but he questions whether things always have to be perfect. Bless raises his voice at this point, emphasizing that it's not up to Mash to decide. Suddenly, someone interrupts and argues that unshakable confidence doesn't exist. The only thing that matters in the end is success. What Mash needs is not confidence, but self-belief. He has the potential to become a real man. This person is revealed to be a divine visionary, Ryo Grants, the Magic Security Forces captain. Bless calls him Lord Visionary and asks why he's there. Ryo dismisses the question's importance and checks with Mash if his earlier question was correct, to which Mash agrees. However, Ryo explains that they all follow rules that cater to the majority. If they try to accommodate everyone, stability would be compromised. So what can be done when Mash doesn't fit within the majority? Ryo simplifies it. Mash needs to convince the majority to support him. Being right doesn't matter. What matters is who's speaking. He then throws something, a candle, which puzzles Mash. Ryo instructs Mash to light the candle without touching it. Without touching it, Mash asks how. The man affirmed that magic is the most crucial element in their world. Therefore, Mash needs to demonstrate a miracle more potent than magic if he truly wants to be considered manly. Mash just stared at the candle, and Bless believed it was nonsense to expect a non-magic user to light it from a distance. Suddenly, Mash produced a wand, which puzzled everyone. What could a non-magic user do with a wand? Ryo was criticized for assigning Mash an impossible task. Then, unexpectedly, Mash began spinning the wand rapidly on the marble floor, creating friction. This extraordinary speed generated fire, and soon, Mash successfully lit the candle. It appeared that Mash had grasped the idea that he could change the world using his own strength. Ryo was pleased and complimented Mash's spirit. Just then, someone announced the arrival of the Divine Visionaries. They were informed that they would be dealing with a student who lacked magical abilities. One of the Divine Visionaries remained silent. Another complained, but was comforted by a companion. One wondered about Wahlberg's intentions, and another felt the chill in the room. One of them stated that their purpose was to maintain order, and there were no exceptions. Mash stands there, saying it looks like they are ending the trial. Bless shouts, telling Mash the decision isn't his to make. Suddenly, sand starts coiling around Mash's feet. Soon after, another attack surprises Mash. Bless is puzzled by this, and Ryo realizes who is behind it. It turns out Mash is fine, and he asks what's happening. Just then, the other Divine Visionaries arrive, suggesting Mash must have thought his trial was over. Someone questions why the Divine Visionaries are there. The Immortal Cane, Renatus Revel, explains that Wahlberg summoned them. The Ice Cane, Tsurara Hailstone, jokes about hitting Mash with a book to finish things quickly. The Dragon Cane, Agito Tyrone, remains quiet. The Knowledge Cane, Sofina Biblia, states that she believes being lenient is the smartest way according to regulations. While the Desert Cane, Orter Madal, argues that regulations remind people to see different perspectives in their lives. He believes that making exceptions would cause the system to collapse, and that giving in to emotions as compatriots in the kingdom sets a bad example. This implies that special circumstances are recognized. Mash, who hid his inability to use magic and enrolled in Eastern Academy, faces the most appropriate punishment: death. At this, our hero Mash is shocked and depressed. The decision is unanimous, which might be a small comfort to Mash. Suddenly, Bless approaches, declaring this unacceptable. He starts to shake, seemingly losing control of himself. The Divine Visionaries and Mash focus on him as he speaks, almost possessed. Then he announces that they are Innocent Zero. Mash and the Divine Visionaries become serious. Innocent Zero claims ownership of Mash, insisting they shouldn't touch him. The Divine Visionaries are surprised to learn about Innocent Zero's involvement in Mash's origins, which seem extraordinary. Mash firmly declares that he is his own person and belongs to no one. Revel questions if Mash thinks anyone cares about his stance. Innocent Zero is serious and reveals they have proof: a magic parasite implanted in Neri. Everyone is surprised by this revelation, and Mash inquires about who Neri is. Then, the nature of a magic parasite is explained. It is a delicate magical creature that consumes mana, while using its host as a chrysalis during its larval stage. Removing the parasite is risky. It will attach itself to whoever removes it from its initial host, a gesture considered as a statement of intent by Innocent Zero. They claim ownership of the world through this action. Ryo then speaks up, questioning whether Innocent Zero is declaring war against the Bureau with this move, and if they are eager to end their long-standing feud. If that's the case, he expresses his willingness to be the one to remove the magic parasite. Neri warns about the risks involved with the magic parasite. The stronger the magic user it attaches to, the greater the danger. If the parasite gets him, he would be crystallized immediately. Ryo wonders who else should attempt to remove it, but then Mash unexpectedly steps forward and effortlessly pulls out the magic parasite, stunning everyone, especially Ryo. The parasite then enters Mash, causing him to choke. However, Mash manages to vomit out the parasite, which now looks like a balloon animal dog. Neri is astounded by Mash's actions, and others are confused about what just happened. It turns out that the parasite had entered Mash's mouth, and he tied it inside like a cherry stem using his tongue. This revelation is met with disbelief, and comments on its ridiculousness. Neri realizes that Mash couldn't kill the parasite, so he used his tongue to immobilize it. Mash then points out that they've heard the enemy's speech and saved Bless, implying they might be done there. Ryo acknowledges Mash as a treasure, but Orter insists that they aren't finished yet. He asserts that the rules are the rules. Those without magic have no say, and thus, Mash's death sentence will proceed. However, Mash objects, firmly planting himself on the floor, refusing to go with them. Orter is taken aback, questioning if Mash thinks being stubborn would work, but Mash simply reiterates his refusal to leave. This defiance suggests that they might not be able to remove Mash from there because of his actions. In a sudden move, a man disappears and reappears behind Mash, forming a sharp object from his hand aimed at Mash's ear. Just as he's about to strike, Ryo shouts for him to wait and intervenes. Orter had claimed the decision to punish Mash was unanimous, but Ryo points out that his opinion hasn't been heard yet. He suggests they listen to what he has to say, fixing an intense stare on Orter. At that moment, a large sword appears between Mash and Orter. Mash recognizes it, and as they look, Wahlberg and Rain walk in. Wahlberg pleads with the Visionaries to reconsider Mash's sentencing. He emphasizes that Innocent Zero sending a messenger is a novel event, and Mash could potentially lead them to find Innocent Zero. Wahlberg argues that losing Mash at this point would be a significant loss. The Visionaries are silent, absorbing this. Maston questions if the Headmaster is an important figure. In response, Ryo maintains a poker face but explains that Wahlberg is a former Divine Visionary, a living legend who, in his youth, was the only one capable of standing against Innocent Zero. This respect for Wahlberg is evident even in Ryo, who is close to becoming the top magic user in the world. Ryo tells Mash that when Wahlberg speaks, he should listen, and Mash agrees. However, Orter acknowledges Wahlberg's position, but remains unyielding. He insists that the regulations dictate such treatment and are not subject to individual interpretation. According to Orter, maintaining order is paramount, and the elimination of those without magic is a necessary part of their world. Wahlberg's sudden removal of his hat prompts a curious reaction from Ryo. He then bows in front of the Visionaries, causing surprise among them. Sofina immediately responds, saying there's no need for Wahlberg to bow to them. Wahlberg, however, explains his reasoning. He acknowledges that Mash may lack magical ability, refinement, and scholarship, but highlights Mash's unique power, the ability to change people's hearts. He argues that their worldview needs changing, and people like Mash are necessary for this transformation. Wahlberg continues, expressing his concern about the current societal view where those without magic are seen as a lower class. He finds this unfair and notes that societal values evolve over time. Changing these values requires courage, especially in admitting past injustices. He emphasizes that what is wrong remains wrong. Otto responds, respecting Wahlberg but asserting that change in their situation really isn't possible. Rain also joins the conversation, supporting the headmaster's view. He believes Mash has proven himself trustworthy. Caldo acknowledges Rain's good intentions but insists that opinions cannot alter the rules. Revel, finding the debate tedious, suggests they simply finish off Mash, reflecting a desire for a swift resolution. Sofina mentions that Rain has already expressed his views clearly, but the public won't accept the exception order. He states that there is nothing left to discuss, and they will execute Mash. They all put emotions before rational thoughts. Bless Minister says that he feels the same way about killing those without magic, believing their power is a special blessing from God, and those without it are meant to be separated because they don't meet the standards set for humanity. However, one of those lack magics people saved his life. He knows he should act based on the rules, but if he fails in his duties, so be it. This case is for him to handle, so he's asking for reprieve for Mash. They can punish him if they want, but his judgment will not change. After that, Wahlberg and the Divine Visionaries exchange glances. Orter says that they will follow this under the condition that they need to observe all of Mash's movements as a tool against Innocent Zero. Mash needs to prove his strength by becoming the Divine Visionary candidate for that year. If he fails to reach that, Mash will die. Mash understands this, but if he wants to embody the headmaster's wish and live peacefully with everyone, orders alone won't be enough. He then punches the ground, causing a very strong earthquake. Mash declares that because of this, he would brutally beat up Innocent Zero with his fists. Elsewhere, it seems the leader of Innocent Zero feels threatened by Mash's words. Mash recounts everything that happened to his friends. Lance is surprised that Mash lacks magic, while Finn wonders if this means he's now involved in a delicate situation. Dot, on the other hand, says that he understands and suddenly suggests they have fun. In the next scene, they head to Marchette Street. Finn thinks that perhaps Dot suggested this for Mash, thinking it might be better than just stressing out all night. He wonders what his friends might look like when they're not in school uniforms. Someone calls Finn, and when he looks back, he sees a person in full plate armor. Dot tells him that having fun is also a kind of battle, but Finn doesn't quite understand. Neither do I. Then, Mash arrives, and it's clear that he's still working out, which surprises Finn. Mash explains that he has never tried going out with his friends before, so he wasn't sure what to wear. Finn wonders why he even needs to bring that up. Lance arrives and apologizes for being late. Fortunately, Lance's attire is normal. However, Finn is mistaken. After that, they chat and mention the popular game at Marchette Street. Before long, they find it, with displays of koalas and dartboards. The player tickles the koala's nose to make it sneeze, using the koala's mucus as projectiles to hit the dartboard. Finn finds it fun, and Mash wants to try it, while Dot boasts about it. As Mash is preparing, the koala suddenly sneezes, and the mucus hits Dot, making him bleed. Mash apologizes, and Finn is left bewildered. There's a brief silence, but Dot understands that Mash is a first-timer, so he decides to show Mash how to play. However, when he tries, the mucus just hits Mash. Mash remains quiet for a moment, and then puts Dot in a flying armbar, suggesting they should have a fist fight. In the next scene, they continue walking, and Lance is looking for a new wand. He mentions a famous wand shop on Marchette Street, and there are rumors that the Divine Visionary selection is approaching. Considering their current coin count, they are sure they can pass the selection exam, and once they do, only the final screening remains. Lance doesn't care if Mash doesn't have magic. He wouldn't hold back for his sister. Mash simply looks on. They arrive at the wand shop that Lance mentions. Upon entering, they find the shop filled with flying wands. An old man greets them and welcomes them in. The man notices that they are students from Easton Academy, to which Finn agrees. Mash is amazed by the sheer number of wands, while Dot gets excited by what he is seeing. Finn thinks that he might want to change his wand too, and suddenly, a wand is summoned for him. Mash is puzzled, and Finn explains that their magic power allows them to summon a wand that will suit them. The man explains that a wand is an extension of their bodies, a tool to help them release their magic power, and a compatible wand will assist them in using their magic better. Lance is also able to summon a wand, leaving both the shopkeeper and Finn amazed, while Dot is clearly jealous, even though he denies it. The shopkeeper asks Mash if he wants to try summoning a wand as well. Finn has doubts about it because Mash is a magicless person, and he thinks Mash won't be able to summon a wand. When Mash is about to try, he notices a wand in one corner that is stuck in the floor, looking quite intimidating. The shopkeeper explains that the wand has been there for many years, but it is too heavy to be moved. The story goes that beneath it, there's elf water that will emerge when the wand is removed. The water could be used to make beautiful wands, but it's nothing more than a legend. In thousands of years, no one with strength or magic has been able to lift it. Dot in particular tells Mash not to attempt it, and they shout at the shopkeeper not to challenge Mash because they don't know what he'll do. The shopkeeper wonders what they mean, and suddenly Mash picks up the wand and water starts flowing from where it had been. The shopkeeper is surprised, and Mash says that's the one he'll take. The shopkeeper is bewildered by what happened and can't believe the legend is true. He thanks them and says the wand now belongs to Mash. In the end, it turns out that Lance doesn't buy a wand. Now that their shopping is over, they plan to go back to playing. Then, Lemon and Tom arrive, apologizing for being late. In the following scenes, they visit various stores and enjoy their day. Afterward, due to exhaustion, Dot, Lemon, Finn, and Tom fall down, while Mash enjoys looking at his wand. They shout that they're experiencing the best student lives. Suddenly, Mash says that he has enjoyed the day, which surprises his friends. He had never experienced going out with his friends before. Mash invites his friends to come back there again. His friends are touched by this, and in the end, they agree, with Lance saying he will bring along someone next time. And that has been the whole execution arc explained. I really hope that you liked this Mashle video, as it's the first one I've ever done on here, and if I'm being honest with you, then I've actually got more to come, which I hope that you are looking forward to, as the arc after this one is one of the craziest arcs I've ever read. But if you enjoyed this video, then it would mean the world to me if you could like this video, subscribe, leave a comment, and maybe even share it with someone else who is a fan. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye.